Blackstone Audio presents The Church by C.S. Lewis, edited by Leslie Walmsley. This book is read by Ralph Cosham. 53. Christian Reunion. An Anglican Speaks to Roman Catholics. Written at the invitation of Roman Catholic friends, this essay was discovered on the back of a few sheets of broadcasts made in 1944 after Lewis's death in 1963, and was published for the first time in Christian Reunion 1990. I have been asked to write on Christian Reunion, but I am afraid that what I have to say will amount to little more than a rough analysis of the actual disunity and a suggestion of how most of us ought to behave while our tragic and sinful divisions continue. I will begin by saying that, whether for good or ill, the nature of the disunity has changed with the centuries. It has become more strictly or clearly theological. I have been well placed for noticing this because I grew up in a very archaic society, that of Northern Ireland, amidst conditions which had even then long since passed away in England. I have thus had a glimpse of the old disunity, the kind that descended from the 16th century. In it, the strictly theological differences were hopelessly entangled with differences of nationality, class, politics, and the less essential differences of ritual. I do not suggest that all differences of ritual are unessential. They were also very embittered. A Protestant mother whose son turned from atheism to Rome, or a Roman mother whose son turned from atheism to Protestantism, would both have felt, I think, simple grief. That state of affairs has passed away. On the question of ritual, indeed, it has almost turned upside down. In southern England, the Romans are now not ritualistic enough to please the High Anglicans, and the Congregationalists may, I am told, be as high as either. Whatever the barrier now is, it is no longer a barrier of candles. Whatever the fog, it is not a fog of incense. And on the purely theological level, I think I may say that the barrier is no longer that between a doctrine of faith and a doctrine of works. I am not myself convinced that any good Roman ever did hold the doctrine of works in that form of which Protestants accused him, or that any good Protestant ever did hold the doctrine of faith in that form of which the Romans accused him. At any rate, I feel certain that no man of good will today hopes to see God either by pecca fortiter or by founding an abbey. It would still be difficult, especially in Germany, to get an agreed form.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?